This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, September 29th, 2021. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Top military leaders confirmed to senators that they advised the White House to keep at least 2,500 troops in Afghanistan and to reject an arbitrary timeline for the U.S. withdrawal from the country. Pentagon correspondent Ben Wolfgang and congressional reporter Joseph Clark report the acknowledgments from Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Mark Milley and U.S. Central Command Head General Kenneth McKenzie were among the most significant revelations from a heated hearing before the Senate Armed Services Committee. The acknowledgment seemingly contradicts President Biden, who said the Pentagon brass was on board with his August 31st exit date, regardless of conditions on the ground. Milley conceded that America had suffered damage to its credibility abroad because of the rushed and poorly coordinated U.S. and allied withdrawal from Afghanistan. The generals, as well as Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, will face similar questions from a House panel next. At the White House, reporters have complained about President Biden's unwillingness to answer questions and the White House staff's efforts to push them out of the room before the president veers from his scripted remarks. White House correspondent Jeff Murdoch reports critics say White House staffers have shielded the president from getting testy with the press or from mangling statements that could be used in attack clips. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki has insisted the president isn't avoiding the press. She said he answered questions 135 times leading up to September. Still, she revealed in a May podcast with CNN's David Axelrod that aides encouraged Biden not to engage with reporters who shout questions during his public appearances. Biden has been less accessible to the press during his first 8 months than any other modern American president, according to data from the American Presidency Project at the University of California, Santa Barbara. In Virginia, Republican gubernatorial nominee Glenn Youngkin is urging voters to cast ballots early for the upcoming November election, but some county GOP officials still don't have faith in early voting. Mika Sellner reports Youngkin, who voted early with his wife in Fairfax County last week, told supporters to take advantage of the state's 45-day window for casting ballots. But localized concerns mirror the sentiment of former President Trump, who still falsely claims that mass voter fraud cost him re-election last year. Asked about Republican officials' claims, the Youngkin campaign said it trusted the process at the local level. The Virginia General Assembly expanded early voting last year in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. A reminder that you can find all these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. Don't have access to the Times yet? Visit WashingtonTimes.com/George and get 25% off your annual subscription. In Arizona, some 3,400 migrants, most of them Brazilian, Venezuelan, or Cuban, were mired in Border Patrol holding facilities in Yuma over the weekend. Stephen Dinan reports on September 22nd alone, the Border Patrol in Yuma apprehended 1,000 people. The number on a typical day is 600 to 700, and just a year ago it was 25 to 35 a day. The 3,400 migrants are in custody, and Border Patrol said it was processing and turning them over to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Of those 3,400, about 2,000 are single adults. And finally, a Muslim inmate who was strip searched by a transgender guard at a Wisconsin prison has filed a federal lawsuit saying the search violated his faith. Sean Salai reports an inmate at the Green Bay Correctional Institution said a guard violated state regulations and Sharia law in 2016 by strip searching him. A ruling is pending from a 3-judge panel of the 7th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals based in Chicago. The court heard the case last week. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and follow us for free on all of your favorite podcast platforms. Just search Washington Times. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.